Okay, we're back with the second quarter of the Florida State versus Michigan Orange Bowl analysis. Gonna highlight some plays that stood out to me, some of the individual efforts, like I did in the first quarter analysis. Also, before I start, though, I would like to point out that at the 11-minute 6-minute mark, 11-minute 6-second mark of the first video I did, the first quarter, I said Derwin James for number 20, and I meant to say Trey Marshall. I corrected that in the description box of that video and in a comment. So if you were thinking Derwin James and you like something's wrong with that, it was something wrong because Derwin James was not playing. He was injured. It was Trey Marshall. I thought I corrected that with the editing tool in my for the video, but I guess it just never showed up. But either way, moving on to the second quarter. So first of all, FSU started the quarter with a 5 wide set, so they decided to go out with the 5 receivers here. Something that they may not want to do a lot of this year, as I detailed before. They are very short on receivers now. But they got a false start penalty on Cole Minshew here to start. Um, and so they had to move on to the next play where they were behind by 5. So on the following play, Maurice Hurst, number 73, the one who's been getting the FSU line some work in this game so far, he got some good push on Cole Minshew here. But Minshew didn't let him by. So Minshew got pushed into the backfield, but he held on pretty well. So it was good pass protection. But the completion that Francois made was short of the first down, so they had to punt, of course. Now, at the 14-minute 6-second mark, the Florida State front stuffed the Michigan run game again. This time there was just no push. Michigan could not push them off of the ball. Number 18, who I believe is Hoskins, he got the tackle at the line of scrimmage on this play. And you're going to see them say it a couple more times. They really got a bead on the Michigan offensive line here. The 13-minute 27-second mark, it was another run stop by FSU. They, like I said, they just we're putting in where it reminds me of Alabama in some way last year. We were just stopping the run left and right. They did not get past the line of scrimmage once again. FSU was really holding them up. They couldn't get any push on them. I just can't stress that enough. Now, at the 12-minute 50-second mark, Brian Burns, who was this DeMarcus Walker, Derek Nottie, and Josh Sweat, they were the ones who were rushing the 4 on the line. And where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, it just showed you like the type of pass rush here. Walker, once again, with his beautiful inside swim move, like he just on the right guard again. He beat the right guard, just casually get inside him and then swipe him to the side. How often he did that so far is just really impressive in my opinion. But State, he moved a bit and he threw the slant for the first down. So Spate was able to kind of dodge that inside pass rush move by Walker and was able to throw the slant anyway for a touchdown. For a touchdown, for a first down. At the 12-minute 17-second mark, that was a jet sweep for Michigan, and they got a few yards here. So that's one of the few times that their jet sweep actually produced something really positive for them. But Trey Marshall, he smacked the guy at the end, though. So the guy had got out of bounds there, stepped the foot out of bounds. And Trey Marshall got up and he hit him again and ended up getting a penalty. And to be fair to Trey Marshall, you could argue that the guy looked like he was trying to reestablish himself to continue running. But he wasn't really moving as much. He kind of stopped. And I think Trey Marshall, either on instinct, just kind of popped him. But he should have held himself back a little bit more. At the 12-minute mark here, what happened? Where am I? Oh, number 90, who I believe is DeMarcus Christmas. And you can guys correct me if I'm wrong there. Beat the right guard easily as well. Like I said, the right guard from Michigan has just been he's been having trouble. He got beat easily. And it should have been a hold, honestly, because of how badly he was beaten, how much 90 got into the backfield. And the right guard was really just kind of holding on to him, and really it was a blatant hold call. But the missed call leads to a 6-yard gain for Michigan. And at the 11-minute 33-second mark, the toss sweep left got the first down for Michigan. And to me, honestly, on this play, you guys can go look at it. The Florida State defenders, they seemed complacent in their pursuit of this sweep play to me. Both DeMarcus Walker and Matthew Thomas, actually, ironically, two of the better guys from those respective areas of the field. And to me, it's just like they kind of pulled up a little bit and weren't really that concerned. It could be that I just caught them running toward the tail end of the play, which is why they slowed down. But usually, you want to see guys running full speed no matter what. At the 11-minute 2-second mark, Michigan moves the pocket right. As he snapped the ball, they kind of moving the pocket over this way to give Spate some time because the pass rush was really getting to him. It was really they were struggling. So they moved the pocket right. But the Florida State secondary had everything covered. Like there was nowhere for Spate to go with the ball. So Spate threw an outlet to Jake Butt, who had leaked out to the left side of the field. Remember, they moved right, so they threw the outlet left. And Butt actually got the first down here. But Trey Marshall came in and hit him low in the leg. Just knock him out. He's a big guy. And it actually hurt him, and it knocked Jake Butt out of the game. Um, and I made a note here. I said Trey Marshall seems like a headhunter. Um, not necessarily in a bad way. He seems like he's like out to like make some big hits, though make a big impact, kind of be an enforcer. But I think that puts him in a position to deliver some hits that could get him in trouble, which may be why he got suspended later on. But I haven't actually watched that part yet, so I'll see what happens. I'll make a judgment for myself when I get there. But he definitely seems like someone who's out to make a hit. Next play, Michigan started with that weird I formation huddle thing they do. You know how they had all the linemen, receivers, and fullback and running back, and everybody lined up in one line, and the quarterback just kind of relayed everyone's job or what their responsibilities were as they were in that I formation. And it's supposed to throw the defense off balance so that they don't have time to get used to the formation and change their defense based on what offensive formation they come out with. So Michigan broke that little I formation huddle, got into their stance really fast, and snapped the ball within a couple of seconds. But Florida State actually, to their credit, they weren't too fooled by it. The defense they reacted. They had to react quickly to that type of thing, and they did because Michigan tried to do a wide receiver sweep, but Florida State was all over it. So those wide receiver sweeps, like I said, it's only been successful like one time so far. Number 19, who I identified as AJ Westbrook, was all over it. He was the one that stopped that sweep play, and he got it for a loss actually. So good job by Florida State there to read that play. Now at the 10-minute mark, it's a really nice pass protection for Wilton Spate, but the incompletion, it went out of the back of the end zone. He, it was a hard throw. I think the commentators gave him a little bit more flack for it than I will. It was a hard throw because you're throwing the ball to the back of the end zone, so you have to put it high enough to where the defender underneath can't affect the ball, but you got to put it low enough to where your receiver has a chance to get the ball. It's a hard throw to make, and he threw it too high. I think he was being too careful. The pressure was getting to him. He didn't really look comfortable, which may be why he's overthrown some of these passes. Now on the next play, Demarcus Walker again. Again, he's inside again. So they like putting Demarcus Walker down in the defensive tackle position sometimes. Sometimes they do it a lot here. And he again beats that right guard with inside again and pressures Spate into stepping up. So he beats the right guard and Spate has to step up into the pocket. And Spate does do a good job of this, sidestepping Walker and stepping up, and he fires the ball into the end zone. Unfortunately for Michigan, it was an inaccurate pass to Darboh, who was wide open in the end zone. He had beat his defender and was running in the middle of the end zone like this. Spate tried to fire the ball on the run, and it was an incompletion. The ball was low and behind. An accurate pass would have been a touchdown for sure. Even if it would just been normal accuracy or enough to just make the receiver stop and catch the ball without having to go behind, it probably would have been a touchdown. But Spate just threw a very poor pass here on the run. I don't know what he was thinking, but he was definitely low and behind, and he wished he had had that one back because it sure would have been a touchdown. Now at the 9-minute 36-second mark for Florida State, there was 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end, so they're kind of switching around a little bit. Francois had solid protection for a second, and I do mean for a second. Literally, in this case, he probably had protection for a second. But Hurst bullied Everly. Like Maurice Hurst, again, this guy is a problem. I like his style. He bullied Alec Everly here into Francois. He just kind of got him, just pushed him into the backfield, and it's kind of embarrassing for Everly there. And Francois had to get rid of it, but he shot the ball out pretty fast. He threw it very hard, and it was a little bit high. It bounced off of Dalvin Cook's hands because of how quickly he had to get it out. So Francois was feeling the pressure there, rightly so, because Maurice Hurst is a big man. The next play was a stretch right run, and if it hadn't been a stretch right, this play would have been blown up. But because it was stretch right, Dalvin Cook was able to escape. But the left guard was blown up. Oh, the left guard, who I think is Kareem Ari, who's in, I think he's in the NFL now too. Like he's number 72, right? Florida State fans, you can correct me. So I've been saying left guard this whole time. I believe that's Kareem Ari. But he got blown up by Maurice Hurst. Hurst is like single-handedly putting work in for the Michigan defensive line. And Cole Minshew had number 3. Cole Minshew also had number 3. I don't know who that defender is for Michigan. Go by him pretty early as well. Like he couldn't really get a hand on him. So Minshew and Ari were they ran into some trouble here. And Michigan players, based on that penetration or because of that penetration, they got hands on Cook's legs. But it was a great individual effort by Dalvin Cook to break loose, and he got a good game. So, like I said, if that play hadn't been a stretch right, it would have been blown up in the backfield because they got penetration, and it was pretty good. Now, at the 9-minute, 8-second mark, they had a 2 tight end formation here, 1 wide receiver, and they had just a fullback dive. And this play was also blown up as the left guard had number 90, which is Kareem Ari again. He had number 90 from Michigan, just knifed right through him for the stop. I mean, he just got in there and it just got the stop in the backfield because Kareem Ari couldn't block him. At the 8-minute, 13-second mark, it's 4th and 1 now because they weren't able to get the first down on that play on a fullback dive. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, 4th and 1 now, and they had 2 tight ends on the formation here, and it had solid push here on this play. They did a simple quarterback sneak, and it was enough to get the 1 yard needed for the first down. So that was an example of their dominance there, or at least their ability to do so every once in a while. Now at the 7-minute, 59-second mark, Florida State here did a play action pass. That Michigan played perfectly, actually. Michigan played this really well because Taco Charlton, he stayed at home here. It was like one of those fakes where you can either take the running back or the quarterback, and Charlton stayed at home, and they ended up rushing Francois, and he had to eat it. So he just threw the ball away. He had to get rid of it. Now, at the 7-minute, 47-second mark, the shotgun run. So it was in shotgun formation. They gave the ball to Cook here from a 4 wide receiver set. So they had got attached to this all of a sudden for some reason. But 4 wide receivers, and they had Dalvin Cook as a running back, shotgun handoff to Cook, and there was actually some really good blocks on this play as Roderick Johnson and Kareem Ari opened up a good size hole, and he was able to run right through it. And they did the same formation on the following play, and this time they actually threw the ball, so it was good pass protection actually. But I believe Francois checked down too quickly. In my opinion, I think he did check down too quickly here. To Cook, he threw the ball to Cook. He maybe could have waited just a little bit longer to see if something developed down the field. I mean, but you can't argue with checking down, but it may have been a little bit too early. 7-minute, 8-second mark, Michigan sent an effective blitz. So by this time, Michigan realized we need to really affect Francois to maybe get some turnovers because we're a little bit behind and we don't want them to start running the ball, all that good stuff. So they start sending blitzes to start dictating to the offense what they wanted to do. And they wanted to make Francois get rid of the ball quickly, like he has been. And Francois did, actually. He got rid of it quickly to his outlet, who actually dropped the ball. So Michigan started to adjust a little bit, Harbaugh and the crew. And at the 7-minute, 1-second mark, Michigan sent 6 people. So they got really heavy on there. It was Don Brown, the coordinator. He was like, all right, we got to really work here. He sent 6 of them at Francois. And Francois here tried to hit his receiver on the one-on-one play, the wide receiver on the DB. I forgot the Michigan's DB's last name, but his first name is Levert. He tried to go one-on-one on the left sideline. But Francois actually threw this pass off his back foot because of the pressure. He felt the pressure and he threw the ball off his back foot. And he just kind of lofted the ball up there. And honestly, you do want to kind of loft the ball when it's one-on-one to give receiver a chance to get it, to fight for the ball. But unfortunately, because he was on his back foot, the ball came up short and it lofted. So if it's short and it's easier to catch because it's lofted into the air, the defensive back would have had a really good chance to intercept this ball. Fortunately for Florida State and unfortunately for Michigan, the DB did not turn around. And because he didn't turn around, he didn't get an opportunity to get an interception. He didn't get an opportunity to swat the ball. And most importantly, and unfortunately for Michigan, he got a pass interference. Even though he wasn't really doing too much to the receiver, the fact that he had his head turned around toward the receiver and his hands were on the receiver, that's a pass interference. They call it like that. And instead of being a big play for Michigan, it ended up being a big play for Florida State. Now, Francois has to learn, even though the pressure's coming, you got to step up and throw that ball out because you can't count on necessarily getting a defensive pass interference there. So that was really interesting. Now, at the 6-minute 55-second mark, it was another fake here, a play action fake. And with enough protection, actually. I said they had enough protection here. But number 3 again for Michigan, he's kind of making a name for himself now. Almost blew by Rick Leonard, but Leonard got just enough of him to stop the rush. And I feel like I'm saying that a lot about Leonard. I don't know, Florida State fans, you can give me your opinion as well, but I feel like with Leonard, I think he's doing just enough to not get beat. And it's kind of interesting to see. It makes you want to say, well, he's been doing solid, but at the same time, you want to say, but I don't know. It's been really interesting. I don't know if that's just me or not. He let go right before it could have been possibly called a hold. So Leonard actually pretty smart here. Next play, it was a 4-man rush by Michigan here, and this time I talked about Taco Charlton's spin in the first quarter. This time Taco Charlton's spin was actually negated by Roger Johnson. So Roger Johnson actually put the brakes on him that time. He stopped him, and his spin was really ineffective. And then once again, Leonard barely held off number 3 again. So you got to go see these plays if you want to go look at them. It is at which mark am I talking about here? 6-minute 55-second mark, and then the next play, the following next play, number 3, kind of putting this word. You can let me know what you think about it. You may say, well, I believe that was pretty solid pass protection, or I believe, yeah, he also got beat a little bit, but he kind of recovered. Let me know what you think about that. Now, at the 6-minute 40-second mark, I have to be really, really, I had to scrutinize this page a little bit because it got messed up by my son, I guess, and so now I have to read kind of what I wrote. I'm not sure exactly. I'll be able to make it out though. So if I look down, it's because I'm looking down at my notes really hard. So the 6-minute 40-second mark, I think they have really, is this good pass protection or nice pass? Yeah, they had pretty good pass protection here for Florida State. It was actually really good. I remember this play now. Francois had time to survey. He looked at the field. He didn't see anybody, so he just scrambled. Got a nice gain there for a first down. And he got out of bounds, so he didn't take a hit. Smart play by Francois. Now, at the 6-minute 18-second mark, so shotgun run to Cook again. So they like doing a shotgun run, spread out the defense with the receivers and make you think it's a pass play, then hand the ball off to Dalvin Cook. So that's smart. But it was stuffed by Michigan because they had probably seen it coming now. They've seen it a couple times, a few times actually. Now, at the 5-minute 35-second mark, Michigan sends a blitz again. Like I said, they're getting a little aggressive here. But FSU line, they pick it up really well, actually. They pick it up, and Francois throws a nice little curl route to Travis Rudolph. It was a short, 6-yard curl. And the blitz was picked up, so it was I believe it was a hot route. If they see the blitz coming, wide receiver one-on-one coverage with the Michigan DB. Rudolph stops, turns around pretty quickly, and Francois throwing the ball out with good anticipation, so the ball can't be jumped on. And Rudolph caught the ball. So that was a really solid play. It doesn't seem like much, but the timing from Francois and the timing on the route from Rudolph and the pickup of the blitz, that actually is a really impressive play. The 5-minute mark, the left guard, again, Kareem Ari, he was beat immediately. Immediately. Just lost it. And Francois had to throw the ball out immediately because of just how quickly the pressure got into him. So they really put some work in on this guy today. I don't know who beat him on this play, but he was beat pretty fast. And Francois, it was high and fast. Francois actually was throwing it toward a receiver, but because of the pressure, It was thrown high and very, very fast. So I noticed that's a tendency with Francois. When he's feeling the pressure and he got to hurry up and get the ball out to an outlet sometimes, um, he will definitely get shaken and he'll throw the ball really hard. And it's like, yeah, you want to get the ball out fast because the pressure's coming. You got to get it to your outlet. But if you throw it so fast, such a bullet that they can't even catch the ball, it's not effective. So that is something to see. Will he have improved on that by the time the season starts? By the time this first game against Alabama comes, when he feels that pressure, is he gonna just sling the ball out like he did now, or we'll see. Now let me find myself because, like I said, this paper is very blurry right now. Yeah, the wide receiver basically couldn't get the ball. Now at the and then they kicked the field goal because that was a third down play. Now they were up 20-6 at this point. And at the 4-minute, 43-second mark, Michigan, what did they do here? I think they're on offense, and yeah, they're on offense. They tried a little movement to slow down Florida State's rush. So, they're kind of moving guys around, making them think, moving their wide receivers across the line of scrimmage, trying to make Florida State think twice before they rush because the rush is killing them. You can argue whether or not it was effective or not. Who knows? At the 4-minute, 11-second mark, the two tight ends and one fullback formation again. They tried an inside run, but once again, I told you this many times, it was stopped at the line of scrimmage. They are really struggling at the line of scrimmage. And Trey Marshall makes the tackle again. And at 3-minute, 33-second mark, it's really, really good pass protection for Wilson Speight. So that's one of the few times, maybe the only time. First time I said really, really, really good because they actually protected really well. Florida State couldn't get in the backfield. And Speight found Jehu Chesson, toward the left sideline. And he's still a little shaken up because that ball should have been thrown more toward the sideline, but the receiver still caught it. But it was very good pass protection there. Now, the 3-minute mark, the Michigan offensive line, they should be embarrassed for this play. So you want to go see this. At the 3-minute mark of the second quarter, Michigan offensive line should be embarrassed. The center got destroyed by Frederick Jones. And DeMarcus Walker, he just did the usual that he does on the right guard. Oh, it's that siren. They always come by when I'm making videos. But anyway, Frederick Jones destroyed the center. And DeMarcus Walker, he did the usual inside swing move, destroyed the right guard. And it just it's just not fair how much these guys are beaten down here, and they just should be embarrassed for what they allowed to happen, what transpired on that play. Now at the 2-minute 14-second mark, it was solid enough protection for Speight, but Florida State was still pressuring him, and he had to get rid of it fast. So Florida State, they tried to slow it down, but it's still coming. The pressure is honestly scaring Michigan at this point in the game. Because I realized they started to call shorter pass routes. They're telling Speight to get rid of the ball, and I think he's feeling that. He's like, let me get rid of the ball. So that's something to see. Now, the 1-minute 23-second mark, Maurice Hurst completely abused. So this is Michigan back on defense now because they couldn't do anything on offense. Florida State has the ball. 1-minute 23-second mark, Hurst completely abused the left guard. He stood him up and pushed. He stood him up and pushed him. Just look at it. But Cook, being a running back that he is, once again ran away from it and was able to get a good game. So you see this as also a recurring thing. The Michigan defensive line, specifically Maurice Hurst, is actually getting some good push every once in a while here. But Florida State seems to be one step ahead as they run away, or Dalvin Cook is just so talented and he has good vision that he sees it and he's running away. Maurice Hurst could be dominating this game if his teammates kind of stood up a little bit more. Now, 5 seconds left of the half. And Florida State, instead of kneeling the ball or doing a running play to end it, they try to attempt a long pass. They attempted to throw here. Francois was trying to throw the ball. I don't know why. But it didn't end up as a good thing, as Taco Charlton and number 96 sacked him. So he got sacked because the Florida State offensive line just got beat right off the line of scrimmage. And Roger Johnson just allowed Taco Charlton to go around him, and the left guard fell over trying to block the Michigan guy, number 96, and they got to Francois easily. So, in my opinion, that was a bad decision. They should just yard up 20-6. just go into the halftime. But that'll be it for today's video. The second quarter analysis of this Orange Bowl game. I'll be back with a third quarter. Let me know what you guys think. What plays stood out to you? And if you're just going to watch along, go look at other videos. Let me know what you saw in some of those plays. Also, don't be afraid. Don't hesitate to tell me if you would like me to analyze another game similar to this, or if you want me to do something specific. Like, tell me, like, how was the secondary playing during this game, or how was the linebackers doing in this game? I wouldn't mind looking that up as well. So, thank you. I'll see you on the next video.